My name is Will Packer. I'm the producer of What Men Want. Taraji P. Henson, she plays a sports agent. So she is a very career-driven woman in a very male-dominated field. She has found that getting to the top of her field is a challenge. And some of that challenge is of her own doing because of her personality, which is very type A, which is very aggressive. And in some respects, that's good. That works for the boys, that works for the men, but it is seen as a hindrance, and it is a hindrance in some respects for a woman in this position. The time comes for her to be named partner, and she is so sure it's going to happen. She's earned it, she's deserved it, she's done everything right, and she's passed over. And she's passed over for a guy who's not as capable or qualified as she is. And that pisses her off, understandably. And she ends up running into a very eccentric psychic slash hairdresser slash marijuana dealer played by none other than Erykah Badu. And a spell of sorts is put on Taraji's character of Ali. And she wakes up with the ability to hear what men are thinking, thus the title, What Men Want. It happens kind of at the best of times or the worst of times, depending on how you want to view it. But a lot of fun ensues, and at the end of the day, it's a story about empowerment. It's heartwarming, heartfelt, but it's got a lot of laughs along the way. If you want to make a movie that feels really contemporary, a movie that's really going to be embraced by audiences today, I think you have to have a woman at the center of it who's empowered, who's strong and knows who she is. And she doesn't have to be all that at once. She doesn't have to be all that at any particular time, but that needs to be a part of her journey and her arc. Because for so long, the themes in Hollywood have been about the patriarchy over and over and over again. And it was about the men and what the men had to overcome and how they were going to overcome it and what they were going to be and what they would learn. Well, this is literally the opposite of that. It is about a woman, and it's a strong woman, and that strength is good in some areas and not so great in others, and she has to learn how to hone the skills that she does have. But it's really about being true to herself. That's why this is a timely film for audiences today, because it's about a woman who is learning to be true to who she really is. One of the things about this film that's great is the fact that these are all really well-rounded characters. You start with the Ali character, and yes, she's a strong female character, but that only scratches the surface of who she is. She's got depth. She's got vulnerability. She is extremely flawed. She's somebody that learns through the course of the movie how to be the best her. The same thing is true with the cast around her, which is an extremely diverse cast, which I love about it, whether you're talking about ethnicity, culture, sexual orientation. It is a diverse cast. And I like the fact that these characters are well-rounded. So when I got the call from Paramount Pictures about remaking What Women Want, the first question was, okay, well, who is in the center? Who is the person that you're going to wrap this movie around? One name came up, only the first name, started with a T, ended with an I. There was no other discussion, Taraji. Once Taraji came up, I knew she was perfect for it. She hadn't done a comedy in a while when we did this film. The last comedy that she was a part of was the movie that we made together, Think Like a Man Too. And when I called her about this project, she said, all I want to do is laugh. She said, I've been playing other characters for years, and they have been various, iterations of dramatic characters and characters going through things and in pain. And, I've had to emote and show that emotion, and it lives with you. She said, I just want to be silly. I just want to be fun on camera. I said, Taraji, I got you. Come on, let's do this, mama. Brandon is Ali's assistant. He is her confidant. He is her right hand. He is completely devoted to her. And he is a glutton for punishment. She is very, very hard on him, as happens when you've got somebody that's like a type A personality and driving really hard. You you use the people around you as crutches, but you lean on them so much. Brandon really wants to be an agent. He has been an assistant for a while. That is his dream, his passion. And Ali has not been very receptive to his dreams. Part of their journey together is her learning to respect him in a different way and to stop taking him for granted. Brandon also happens to be gay. And one of the conversations that we had very early on with Adam Shankman was we want to make sure that we bring in an actor that can play this character in a very real, grounded way. We wanted to make sure that we weren't doing anything that at all felt stereotypical or felt like a caricature. And Josh Brener brings Brandon to life. I've been a Pete Davidson fan for a while. I mean, who's not? If you're into like kind of a little bit edgier, darker humor, then Pete's your guy, and I am. And so I've been a fan for him. Obviously SNL, but other stuff that he's done. And we needed somebody to play the role of Danny. And Danny is our alpha male around the office. He fits right in with the boys club. He feels like a frat guy. Anything may come out of his mouth at any given time. I've been an Aldis fan since Straight Outta Compton. I was an executive producer on Straight Outta Compton, and he played the character of MC Ren. And since then, he's been, just really popping and doing, some great, great work on television shows like Underground and movies like Hidden Figures. And so he had actually worked with Taraji before. When I said his name to Taraji, she immediately flipped out. She loved the idea, loved it. And it turns out that they've got chemistry already. They had worked together before. They personally get along really, really well. And it was a great choice.